Hi everybody, and welcome to the end of the first week of Introduction to Unity. At the end of every week, we have a highlight reel, and that's what this is. We take the best projects that were created over the past week, and we show them off to help you guys just understand what your fellow peers are creating, maybe get some excitement and some inspiration from them. After this, definitely ask your peers how they did specific things if you're really interested in how they did it. So let's not take any more time. Let's go and jump right on in. Firstly, let's go and talk about Betty Boop's project. So this was pretty cool. She created an entire world that you can go around. Unfortunately, the camera doesn't turn along with the vehicle, but what's pretty cool about this is this entire world is, of course, using all the assets that were provided in the project, but it is a little maze to drive around, and I'm not very good at it, so I apologize. But it is a pretty cool project. I saw that there were a lot of individual locations to go to, and it was just it's a really nice experience. So from there, we have, going to the next person, Kenny. And Kenny Hong's project is a road trip to Colorado. As the parent, presumably the dad, you're probably dealing with some aggressive drivers on the opposite side of the road. Maybe you yourself are one, and you are just hitting all of these crates. The vehicle that was presumably holding the crates is in front of you, and you can't really knock him out of the way, but you can definitely drive around him. And at some point in time, you'll meet the very edge of the level, and if you keep driving, you will see that there is a massive line of vehicles, oncoming vehicles. If you do happen to hit any of these vehicles, you will be flung underneath the ground. So I don't think this dad is having a very good day. Up next is Christian. I believe Christian took this class already. So they actually applied a few of their skills that they learned through all the other classes to this one. They wanted to take it all over again, and I think this is really cool. It really displays a wide variety of things that you all will eventually get to experience, but you can see that there's a score counter, there's a timer, and if you fail, you will get restarted all the way at the beginning. There are also multiple, and if you do good, you get a record. When you go back to the menu and you go to one of these other levels, you'll experience a few other options like speed boosters, which are pretty cool. And some of these speed boosters, if you don't pay attention, will actually fling you off the game. R to restart, M for menu. In this one, it's incredibly difficult. You have to avoid all of the oncoming traffic, and they definitely, Christian did not make this easy. The further and further you get, the more vehicles spawn, and at some point in time, you're going to get flung. It's pretty cool. So I really appreciate the extra work and effort that went into this. I think it's one of the best projects that I saw submitted this week. So a big round of applause for Christian. Up next is Deanna. Deanna Spark also engaged in creating some interesting mechanics. I thought that this was absolutely incredible. So the vehicle actually moves dependent on the mouse position in the screen. The first mouse button also moves you forward. You get a restart menu, and if you happen to get flung, you lose. So that is absolutely incredible. I'm so happy to see this kind of work already being created at this point in time. So honestly, really good job. Up next is Joshua George. I did play this with the music on for a little bit, and it was just a little bit too loud for me, but you got to drive a monster truck down the roadway, and at the very end there is a finish line, and you can actually hit the finish line and make it fling around all over the place. So it's a pretty cool project. Definitely a really good implementation of adding different variables and events into the project. So also one of those really awesome projects that I saw. And finally, Bruce Hopkins, with his driving project, I thought was a little bit on the simplistic side, but it's pretty cool because what he actually did was he created some objects in Blender. He also animated them in Unity. So that ring that's at the end that you jump through, he actually created in Blender, and I appreciate the extra effort that went into actually creating his own objects. So definitely very cool. And with that, those are the 6 projects for this week that I wanted to feature. To everybody else who did not get yours featured, definitely try to make sure that you are able to put in some extra effort. Create some new objects in Blender or Maya or 3ds Max. Bring those into Unity. You can also create or add music if you wish, or sound effects. VFX, so particles, are also pretty good. And if you want to modify the landscape and add like little goals to go to, that makes your experience in your game much different than everybody else's. So those are just a few of the suggestions for modifications that you can add. Great job, everybody. You did really wonderfully on your first project, and I can't wait to see more. Thanks.